Hi, Asia. This is Sun Mushy, as you know. And first, check it out. I have a new deck, and I waited to open it for the sake of this video. So I'm really excited. Yeah, it's Wisdom. Let me make sure the camera. Cool. Wisdom of the House of Night Oracle cards. So I am really excited. Cool, I have my key. And like, get it open. So I'm pretty excited to do this personal reading. I'm honestly not even sure what's going to come from it, like what messages I'm going to get. So I'm very curious as to what I'm going to do. Because now I have so many decks. So it's like lots of options to choose from. Control. And just a heads up, I may like pause every once in a while, like either blow my nose or something, or just briefly drink some water. But I do know one thing for sure. I definitely want to use this new deck. So congrats! You are the first person that I'm going to do this reading on. Woo! Or rather, thank you. So it's a congratulations, but really it's actually a thank you. And oh my gosh, I love the colors and everything. Woo! Okay. Also, I pulled a card for the sake of Rainbow Harmony's channel, because I don't know if you know Rainbow Harmony, but she made this video saying that she was really tired from like all this crazy amount of work she was doing today. And so, yeah, so I pulled a card of the day, and the whole card of the day is about emotional balance. So that's kind of like a fun theme. I might just like put that over here. Or you know, if it wants to come back out, it'll come back out. I get the feeling I'm going to be using like all of these decks. So I'm really excited. Oh my gosh. Leave. I'm sorry, yeah. Read just like briefly, real quick. Alright, sweet. So it's pretty self-explanatory with that. Ah! Woo! Woo! Sorry, I'm freaking out. Alright, and it's in order right now. Oh my gosh. Check out this card. Look how beautiful that cat and that moon is. This is the moon card. Okay, so to start, I'm gonna go with my soul cards first. Okay. Even though I really want to use that deck, but I'm feeling pretty guided to go with the soul cards first. It's actually Soul Cards 2. They made a sequel deck. I love it. Ooh, okay, that one came out. Oh, okay. Gonna be in a bubble. Yeah, I like this song. I feel like you're kind of like in a world of your own. You're like this beautiful, like bird person. You're just like very open in a sense, like very sexual energy, very loving energy, very freeing energy. You like being free. You know, if that makes sense. Like there's like a bird within this bird. So it's like you're like a bird kind of person. Interesting. Bubbles, bubbles. And you also like gotta speak your truth and be yourself. And there's so much gazing deep within not only your own soul, but it's like, it's interesting. I got this in Sideways. So while on one end you like look into reflections and you can see deep within, this applies to other people. It's like you have this powerful ability, I would say, to really look within the souls of others. I feel like you're one of the people who it's really hard to deceive you. I feel like you catch on to deception, like just like that. Very interesting. I'm gonna leave it in the horizontal, in the sideways. Alright, this one. Interesting. Oh, okay. What's pretty interesting is, you know, perhaps with the people in your life, they're telling you you're, like, all off in your own world, in your head, you know, all this stuff. Like, maybe they make you feel like you're in your head too much, or they're like, oh, you're overthinking things, or I don't know if you've ever heard this, but like, oh, calm down, you know, something like that. First of all, I don't pick up that vibe since we've been talking and stuff. Second of all, with the card of, like, mirroring and reflection and, like, looking deep within and stuff, next to that card is kind of, like, reassurance that if people make you feel like you're too much or this or that, that they're wrong. Like, you're not obsessing over things. Well, it depends on your definition of obsession. Like, for me, I'm very into twin flame connections, and I watch videos all the time. Like, people would describe me as obsessed with tarot. So, you know what? Sure, fine. Like, I'm obsessed. Like, you caught me. But this in the reverse tells me it's not a bad thing to be intrigued and infatuated or, like, interested in certain things. Especially when all you're trying to do is find answers, when all you're trying to do is ask yourself, what are the answers? You know the answers are deep within, so it's like, if anyone makes you feel like you don't, or that you shouldn't be doing what you're doing, I'm here to validate you right now. Obviously, your feelings are valid. However, your thought process is totally valid. Who you are is who you are, you know? You are beautiful, and so I kind of get a little bit upset when people tell me to not be certain things or do certain things. Or they're like, hey, don't you think you should move on from this person? And it's like, hey, I am, in my own way, trying to move on. I don't know if this is resonating, but I get the vibe it is. Usually I'm not so confident, but I'm feeling like this is probably resonating. If so, I'm happy, I'm really glad, and of course I'm going to keep going with the reading. But yeah, with my connection, a lot of people would be like, don't you think it's time to move on? Don't you think this guy doing this and that are all signs that he doesn't want anything to do with you? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, in the way I think, the way my process goes, so all of what I was saying, those people saying those things to me, that's like this card. And then with this card, it's like asking myself, and I'm like, hey, like, I see what people are saying, but deep within myself, I have my own answer, and the answer is no. I choose to believe in everybody. It's like the same could be said about the very people saying that to me. It's like the people who said that to me, they've all done things in the past where the reality is unclear, and I had to look deep within and realize that no, they're my friends. Yes, they care about me. You know, there are times in the past where, whether you're being ignored or ghosted or what, and I'd have to ask myself, like, you know what, like, they're busy, they're doing things, like, I should think about it through their eyes, their perspective, and that really helped me get out of my head. So by going into my head, it helped me get out of my head. And really, by going into my head, it's more, you know, it's actually just relying on your intuition, going and talking with your higher self, looking at all the parts within you, stuff like that, you know, going on your spiritual journey. And so, yeah, just here to validate you. I'm sure you already know. Hopefully you have all this confidence within that you are in fact intuitive and that, you know, you're smart, resourceful, all that stuff. But yeah, if you just wanted, I don't know, people like compliments, so yeah, perhaps. Yeah, there's a lot of pain. I see how I want to structure this. There really does seem to be a lot of pain regarding not only seeking the truth, but I think your environment is a lot to do with this. Speaking your own truth has caused pain, I would say. Seeing the reflection of others, some people would see that as a gift, and it is. I believe it is. This is something I relate with as well. But I feel as though you have witnessed how the issues that can come with seeing past people and seeing what their intentions truly are. Because for me, growing up as a kid, I would see those things and I would say, oh, you're just saying that because of this, or oh, you truly feel this way. And not only would they not agree with you, they would tell you that you're like this or that. People get afraid. People get afraid of you, or like maybe they're like, how is this person in my head? Or they won't even admit that far, and they'll just like pick on you and bully you and change like direction. And then you'll go take it a step farther, and you'll say to the crowd like, that person's only directing the attention towards me because they're feeling this way. It's like people will then call you a psychopath, a sociopath, a narcissist. All these things that empaths tend to attract. It's funny when you're talking to me about that, because when I was brought up, my whole life I was always asking myself, I was like, am I a narcissist? Am I a psychopath? Am I a sociopath? Am I this? Am I that? I was told that I was all of those things, so it was hard for me to like get past that pain and the burden. It can be a heavy weight to be an empath, pretty much, to be who we are. Also, I want to light this candle real quick. I don't know why. I always like to light candles, actually. And now I can finally do it because I'm like less clogged, and like my throat is way less sore. So like, yeah, I'm really happy. I can smell. Alright. And this bottom card. Yeah! Okay. Cool. And this one wants to come out too. So, I'm going to draw 3 more cards before I move on to a different deck. 11 and a half minutes. Cool. So yeah, you have this really powerful energy. You're able to draw nearby energy and like channel that within you into this healing energy. You have this like powerful ability to manifest your reality. Of course, everyone does, but like you're like, you've got this swirl about you where you do it with both love, with that like hand on the chest, and like both with the ability of, like with the idea of manifesting. So like these like swirling emotions is what I'm hearing, turn into reality. And so that can be really dangerous when put next to this. This is kind of like a creeper card. There can be people with like, I don't know, like sleazy intentions. I say sleazy because I was talking to my friend earlier and they used that word. So that struck a chord with me when I saw this card. This person is kind of like a little spooky. They're like, they just want one thing. You can kind of like feel it. And so when you have this type of energy, your form of this energy is quite beautiful. But because there's all forms of energy in here, including sexual energy, of course, that can attract, as you know, narcissists and things like that. But it can attract kind of like creeps, honestly. And there's a lot of creeps in the world. I feel bad using that word, but in a sense, there are a lot of people who pretty much fit that description as of right now. And I know that that's not all that they are, but it is certainly something that they're putting out there in the world. And you can see there's a soul in here, and there's some feathers, but they're just so entranced with touching, and like they just want that like sweet honey, you know, they want that nectar kind of vibe. Ooh, interesting. Ooh, yeah, this is kind of what I was talking about, that whole siren. They're like, hey, like, this is what I want, just pleasure. They're just like, hey, like, let's have pleasure, you know? And like, you understand with pleasure and with creep, like, these are some different forms of pain. I'm getting the vibe of what this pain versus this pain, the connection. This is really interesting. I really like this reading. 1 second. Before I finish on this story, I just need to draw the last 2 cards. Oh, I see. That that makes this quite complicated. Okay. This, to me, is like my twin flame card, but it can be a soulmate card too. So this is like the soulmate twin flame card, pretty much, is what I've like kind of described it as. By the way, this deck, they have no particular meanings. You create your own. So now I'm more familiar with it. It is true. You just kind of like start having these meanings for them. Ooh, yeah, creative. You create your own destiny, of course. You manifest love you manifest soulmates. You, if you believe in twin flames and that there's only one twin flame, you will and have manifested your twin flame. If you believe you have a twin flame, yeah, it'll manifest pretty much. Because this person, you have the ability to create out of yourself. It's honestly quite beautiful. So, yeah, the way I see this story is, with the way your emotions swirl together, you realize that your emotions are powerful. Your feelings are powerful. Feelings is what manifests pretty much. And I feel like you caught a vibe of that. And in doing that, I think early on, you maybe notice, like, with how you can channel those feelings, you will attract all sorts of things at first until you get more of a grasp on this whole concept of manifesting. So perhaps there was a time in your life where there were some pretty, like, not so great people entering, and then you learn how to direct that more of, like, okay, I don't project that, I don't want that, like, I don't know how to put it, but it's like, I guess your way about feeling either, like, changed, or you just kept developing your spiritual gifts and your talents and developing yourself, and then that eventually came over to finding people who, okay, they don't just want one thing. They are very, like, physically oriented. Like, yes, they really just want a lot of pleasure, but at least there's, like, more of a soul in here where they're, like, kind of reaching out also out of pain. This is kind of like someone is so far gone in this path that, like, they will kind of just, like, do or say anything. And then this is more like a person who, like, they'll kind of say things, and there may be manipulation or, like, games here and there, but at least they're a person, at least they're, like, they do kind of look at you and not just, like, look at the one thing that they want, if that makes sense. And then I think farther down the road, finally you attract true equality, true love, powerful connections, soulmate connections. And it's because of how much loving energy you have, and the connecting factor is pain. It's all this pain that you're feeling, these are all lessons and healings that all contribute to leading you towards your twin flame, or your soulmate, or your partner, whoever that may be, someone that you can be open with and trust, and that they won't control you. You guys won't control each other. You guys will just work really well in harmony. Both of you feeling free, yet together. I don't know, it feels quite beautiful, if that's what you're looking for. Yeah. So, overall, I really like that reading. Honey, won't you come my way? Yeah, I am more interested in moving on than keeping these up here. I could put clarifiers and whatnot, but I feel like I kind of get overall the vibe in this. I might throw out one or two cards before putting these back in the deck. Six of Cups. That's funny. I know I just put it on top and it just, like, fell out, but, like, yeah, this is all about finding your balance, finding emotional balance within the good and the bad, within the past and the future, within, your left and your right. So I guess a good example would be, like, if you did someone wrong and they did or if someone did you wrong and you did, like, a right, and you missed them, a good example of balance would be, like, maybe don't go reach out to them, and if they want to reach out to you, that's okay, because that would be balance. If they did something bad and you did something good, and you do something, and honestly, good and bad, those are kind of just, like, general vibes. They're all good and bad are almost, like, in a sense, the same thing. Like, if you're on the dark side and you do something positive, you just did a negative thing, you know what I mean? But if you're on the dark side and you do something dark, then you just did a positive thing. So really, good and bad kind of are the same thing, but we'll just use those terms for now. So if you did something good and they did something bad, and you go and forgive them without them reaching out, and you do more good, that tilts the scales more. So the idea of balance is really important. So like, if people do it wrong, it's up to them to make the right, but at the same time, it's up to you to receive and to like let the scales balance themselves back out. So if people are worthy of like, or like changing and like really want like a future with you, and they can provide this balance where like no one is harming the other, totally Six of Cups is good. But also finding balance within yourself is important. And I feel like you're already a very balanced person, if I'm being honest. These cards really do come off as balanced. It looks like you've got a really good grasp on handling your pains and like turning them into like strengths, and like realizing that you love that part of you as well. You realize maybe your own darkness, you have to love it as well, because without the bad there is no good, and without the good there is no bad. So you love them together. Yeah. So Six of Cups, I'm hearing like sometimes if efforts are made where there can be balance and harmony, basically the past shouldn't matter anymore. It should matter, but like you can like, the past can just be lessons to make a stronger future. So if someone did a lot of, for example, that person you're talking about, a lot of controlling, if you can see a future where there's a lot of freeing, those two sides, past and future, balance out to a pretty powerful present. So a good way to look at this card is look at your past and then project the future a bit and see, do the past and the future balance your present? And if they do, that's a pretty good outcome, I would say. So I hope that message resonated with you. I'm going to put these cards back. I really like this reading. I really love your energy. You're a very strong person. And this card wants to come out. Yeah, you're really good at looking at your own, like, I guess, quote-unquote flaws, or like your own weaknesses or your own insecurities. You can like look at it and you're like, I am not afraid of you. I will still love you regardless. Any venom that's inside, you're like, as long as I am not afraid of you, you cannot harm anyone. You will remain there in place, and you guys can coexist just fine. The snake won't attack you. You won't attack or fear the snake. So yeah, pretty beautiful. I'm glad that card came out. Okay. Let me see the time. 23 minutes. So my storage space is pretty low. Ooh. Oh, these cards feel fantastic. I get what people mean when they talk about the feeling of cards. Oh, wow. These two are coming out. Woo! Been the same. I'm curious, what are these cards gonna say? So, with the idea of balance, trapped. This was your past. Oh, sorry, I didn't tell you. I'm feeling past, present, future, even though I don't normally. Ooh. In the past, I'm feeling. You felt very trapped, and you learned your lessons from it. You broke down this foundation from the past, let that go, and you let yourself move on. mentally. You let yourself move on. Curious about the future. Future, interesting. Future, there is a King of Cups feeling where, hey, I think you were telling me you kept getting the King of Cups. So, it looks like you're going to be riding your emotions as usual. You're on top of your emotions. I think someone is coming in hot. I think someone with this offer is coming in hot. There's going to be this Six of Wands energy, this coming together, all these like interesting connections, similarities, coincidences, where you two come together. They're coming in with this love offer, yet we get the Sun in reverse, which does confuse me. So, listening, I gotta read. Where's the book? Here it is. Me and you together haven't been the same. I don't wanna play these games. Drawing this symbol indicates that you are meant to listen to what others are saying with their gestures rather than their words. Yeah, okay. That's the vibe I was getting. Let me see. In my house of night, there will be a beautiful girl with skin the color of dark honey who has the gift of poetry. She is able to weave tales with great detail and expression, yet without being obvious or straightforward. Reading between the lines and finding true meaning are what are required right now. Listen and learn. What others don't say is what is important at this moment. So, okay, the Sun in reverse. It sure looks like this person, they are coming in with some powerful emotions, but there's something either dark or something that's not being said that if you listen, you'll be able to determine what it is. Oh, and it says darkness does not always equate to evil. Light does not always bring good. That's exactly how I was feeling. It's like this person really seems to have like light and good energy, but it looks like they might not bring pretty much what you're looking for. Maybe. So let's see what the present might be about. Oh, wow. Loyalty. So, I'm hearing with loyalty, interesting, because in the past you felt trapped, and I think you did a lot of wanting to be free and, like, freeing yourself. And I think maybe you're trying to control outcomes at this point, or that, yeah, pretty much. I'm hearing maybe it's a good time to let go of controlling the outcomes, and I think that might bring a lot of pain in your present. But this pain, as I was feeling, or how I feel about pain in general, is that pain is just a way of healing. If you're feeling pain, it's your body telling you you're healing, you know? So I feel like letting go of some sort of control, not that you're a controlling person, but just like in terms of the way your life is going, perhaps let go a bit about that. Let the pain kind of like come in. And not just unnecessary pain, but pain where you're letting necessary emotions out. Emotions of love. Be open and honest with the way you think and feel. And whatever loyalty means to you, I think be loyal to who you are. Perhaps you're holding back. Perhaps you kind of know where your path is heading, but you're trying to resist it from going there. But I think with this in reverse, it's kind of saying to just like, now would be a pretty good time to let go of that control and let things unfold, see what happens, and realize you don't know what will happen. You don't know, like maybe it'll bring a lot of pain. Maybe this won't be what you're looking for. But in the present, from your past and future, for balance, it looks like it's okay to go through some more pain. As like, hopefully that advice isn't bad, but pretty much, yeah, with this as the backbone, it's like time to embark on this new journey and I guess outlook in life of just like, instead of trying to figure out what happens, maybe just like, I know since you do tarot readings, maybe a time that comes up when you're like, what should I do? What should I do? Like, and you get ready to like pull out your cards. I'm hearing like, on this new journey, try to not pull out your cards, and maybe not even like, just try to not even predict. Try to just like see what happens, so to speak. Let me see the time. 30 minutes. So I'm definitely gonna run out of storage space soon. So I'll finish off with reading this song. You have chosen the symbol of loyalty, and this means you are being called to stand up for who and what you believe in. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, oh yeah, I should be careful about what I just said. By no means, don't let yourself get walked over, you know? These people, those two guys you were talking about, I don't know, something sounds a little off, but at the same time, I don't know them, and I didn't get the worst vibes from them, or anything like that. I didn't get, like, very spooky vibes, or like, ooh, stay away, you know? Usually when someone's really, really harmful, I get a quick vibe of, like, especially from the cards, of just a lot of mistrust and, like, deception cards. We didn't really get any deception cards, so that's good. So yeah, stand up for who you are, what you believe in, and that will guide you, and I think it will bring you both pain, but that pain comes in healing. So this really looks like a time for healing. This seems to be like a universal thing right now. Do you know the story of a beautiful red vampire who saw the good in another and remained steadfast in her love against all odds? Aww. Loyalty is tested at times, and you may be asked to assess whether others deserve your loyalty. Sometimes you find yourself in a position where it is difficult to speak up for another person, a cause, or even for yourself. Now is the time to be faithful to your best qualities and to leave the rest behind. This is a true test of character. I know you will choose rightly. Stand up for what you believe and be loyal only to what is true and good. So yeah, I feel like what is having a control on you right now is your pain and your thoughts. But you should let your feelings and emotions guide you. And just like with the Six of Cups balance, of course, look at both. Make sure you both are fusing beautifully into this like cooperation. 32 and a half. So I hope that message makes sense. I hope this all resonated with you. I'm sending so much love and light. I'm really glad to have met you and have met more of my soul family. I can't believe it, but I really am like all of a sudden meeting a ton of my soul family, and it's like the best feeling in the world. Like, so thank you, honestly. Thank you so much. Hold on, let me see if I can get one more card. Four of Swords in the reverse, or in the sideways. So yeah, your way of thinking, this like loop you're kind of trapped in, I sense it'll linger, but you're getting through it. You're finding the other missing pieces that you're looking for. On your own, of course, like within yourself. You're an amazing person.